The first photo appeared quietly, almost unnoticed. It was posted after a public event where Tan Songyun had attended as one of the invited guests. At first, fans focused on the usual things: her elegant outfit, her calm smile, and the graceful way she carried herself under the flashing lights. But within hours, attention shifted to something much smaller, yet far more explosive. Around her neck was a necklace. At first glance, it looked simple, delicate, refined, and not overly dramatic. But for longtime followers of Sue Kai, it felt strangely familiar. One fan zoomed in on a red carpet image and posted a side-by-side comparison with an older family photograph of Sue Kai attending a private celebration years ago. In that older image, standing beside his mother, was the same necklace, or at least what looked exactly like it. The internet froze. Within minutes, comments flooded every platform. Could it really be the same piece? Was it just a similar design? Or had Tan Songyun somehow appeared wearing what many believed to be a family heirloom connected to Sue Kai's family? The phrase family heirloom necklace spread like wildfire. Fans began searching old interviews, archived family photos, and past public appearances. Some found an image from years earlier where Sue Kai's mother was wearing a necklace with a similar pendant design. Others pointed to an interview where Sue Kai casually mentioned that certain jewelry in his family had been passed down for sentimental reasons, though he never gave specific details. Suddenly, what seemed like a simple accessory had become the center of one of the biggest celebrity discussions online. At the event itself, Tan Songyun had looked completely relaxed. She greeted photographers, smiled during interviews, and posed naturally for cameras. Nothing about her behavior suggested she was expecting the storm that would follow. Yet every frame of that appearance was now being examined with microscopic attention. One close-up photo showed the necklace catching the light. It had a vintage charm, with details that felt personal rather than purely fashionable. Fans noticed that it did not match the brand sponsors typically seen at celebrity events. It looked older, meaningful. That detail alone intensified speculation. Some argued that luxury stylists often source vintage jewelry for appearances, and the similarity could be accidental. Others insisted the design was too specific to ignore. The pendant shape, the chain style, even the clasp placement seemed nearly identical to the one seen in older Sue Kai family photos. The story exploded further when a fan account shared screenshots from a previous drama wrap party. In one blurry image, Sue Kai himself appeared to be holding a small velvet jewelry box while talking to Tan Songyun. The image was unclear, but it was enough to ignite another round of theories. Was it a gift? Had this been hidden in plain sight for years? Suddenly, older interactions between them were being revisited. Fans remembered events where Sue Kai seemed unusually attentive toward Tan Songyun. Interviews where their chemistry felt too natural. Award shows where subtle glances became headline material. Everything now looked different through the lens of the necklace theory. The conversation became divided. One side believed it was impossible to ignore. In many cultures, especially with family heirlooms, such jewelry carries emotional weight. It is not something casually lent or borrowed. If the necklace truly belonged to Sue Kai's family, then Tan Songyun wearing it could suggest trust, intimacy, and significance far beyond ordinary friendship. The other side urged caution. Fashion similarities happen often. Public speculation can turn coincidence into fiction. Without confirmation, they argued it was dangerous to assume too much from one accessory. But silence only made things louder. Neither Sue Kai nor Tan Songyun addressed the rumors. That silence became part of the mystery. If it was nothing, why not dismiss it? If it was something, why remain quiet? Fans watched closely for any sign. Sue Kai attended another public appearance days later, and people noticed he seemed slightly more reserved than usual during interviews. When asked unrelated personal questions, he smiled politely and redirected the conversation. Some interpreted that as avoidance. Others said fans were simply reading too much into normal behavior. Meanwhile, Tan Songyun posted a simple photo from her daily life, a quiet cafe moment, no caption beyond a small emoji. But eagle-eyed fans immediately noticed the necklace was missing. That absence became another discussion entirely. Was she intentionally avoiding more speculation? Or had it never meant anything in the first place? Then came the moment that pushed everything further. During a live event, a reporter casually asked Tan Songyun about her fashion choices and whether any recent accessories held special meaning. For a brief second, she paused. It was subtle but visible. Then she smiled and answered that some pieces are special because of the memories attached to them. That single sentence shattered the internet. She did not name the necklace. She did not mention Su Kai. But for fans already deep in the theory, it felt like confirmation without confirmation. Reaction videos appeared overnight. Comment sections exploded. Some celebrated what they believed was a quiet acknowledgement. Others insisted it was still too vague to prove anything. The debate became endless. Even celebrity stylists joined the discussion, with some noting that meaningful jewelry often reflects emotional connections rather than simple fashion choices. They pointed out how stars are usually very intentional with public appearances. Wearing something with symbolic value, especially under intense media attention, is rarely accidental. 3 weeks later, the necklace was still being discussed. Not because it was flashy. Not because it was expensive, but because it represented possibility. It turned an ordinary appearance into a story filled with emotion, mystery, and unanswered questions. Fans began calling it the silent confession theory, the idea that sometimes the loudest statements are never spoken at all. A necklace, a pause in an interview, a missing accessory in the next photo. Tiny moments, yet powerful enough to create headlines. Whether the necklace truly belonged to Su Kai's family may never be publicly confirmed. Perhaps it was coincidence. Perhaps it was a stylist's choice. Or perhaps it was something much more personal hidden behind polished smiles and careful silence. That uncertainty is exactly why the story refuses to disappear. Because sometimes, the most unforgettable celebrity moments are not dramatic declarations or public confessions. Sometimes, they are quiet details resting just above the heart. And in this case, one necklace became louder than words. As the days passed, the discussion around the necklace only became more intense. Fans who had initially dismissed the theory began returning to older footage, searching for any clue they might have missed. Every past interview, every backstage clip, and every public appearance involving Su Kai and Tan Songyun suddenly carried new meaning. It was as if one small accessory had unlocked an entirely different story that had been sitting unnoticed for years. One fan account shared a compilation from an awards ceremony months earlier. In the video, Tan Songyun was seen adjusting something near her neckline while speaking to another actress. The footage was blurry, but viewers immediately began speculating whether the same necklace had appeared before. Some claimed the pendant shape matched perfectly, while others argued it was impossible to tell from such poor quality. Still, the possibility alone was enough to keep the conversation alive. Another moment that caught attention came from an older interview with Su Kai. During a light-hearted segment, he was asked what kind of gifts he considered meaningful. He smiled and replied that the best gifts were things with history, not price. He mentioned that items carrying family memories meant more than expensive presents. At the time, the answer seemed ordinary. Now, fans replayed that clip endlessly, connecting it back to the necklace theory and wondering if there had been hidden meaning behind his words all along. The speculation grew even stronger when a stylist who had worked with several major celebrities gave a vague comment during a live stream. Without naming anyone directly, she mentioned that stars often choose symbolic accessories for public appearances, especially when they want to communicate something quietly without making public statements. She laughed and added that sometimes fans notice more than the celebrities expect. That single comment was enough to send fan communities into another wave of excitement. Meanwhile, neither Su Kai nor Tan Songyun changed their usual routines. They continued attending events, posting normal updates, and maintaining the same calm public image. Yet fans noticed every detail. If Su Kai liked a post connected to Tan Songyun's work, screenshots spread instantly. If Tan Songyun wore jewelry that looked remotely similar, comparisons followed within minutes. The smallest movements became part of a much larger story. What made the necklace theory so powerful was not proof, but possibility. It gave fans something rare, an emotional mystery built on subtle details rather than dramatic announcements. There was no scandal, no official statement, no headline confirming anything. Just quiet moments, careful silences, and one piece of jewelry that seemed to carry more meaning than anyone expected. Even now, many still debate whether it truly was Su Kai's family heirloom or simply a coincidence exaggerated by online attention. But perhaps that uncertainty is exactly why the story remains unforgettable. People are drawn to what cannot be fully explained. A necklace can be just jewelry, or it can become a symbol of trust, closeness, and hidden emotion. And that is why fans remain stunned. Because sometimes, the smallest details reveal the biggest questions, and sometimes, a silent necklace can say more than words ever could.